Myles Garrett is 100% the MVP of this league. And if anybody thinks different, you're an idiot.
You're listening to the What the Elf Was That podcast, an iconoclastic look at the latest Cleveland Browns news. The What the Elf Was That podcast is part of the Fanatical Elves podcast network, a part of the Fans First Sports Network. Here's your host, Joel Cade.
Everybody, welcome to another edition of What the Elf Was That? I have with me today John Suchan. Say hi.
Hello. Hello, Joel. How are you today?
Doing
Happy
all right?
New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
It's almost that time, 2026.
Yeah, like it's tomorrow is New Year.
Look at that sweatshirt you're wearing. I love it.
I love look at this. This is a gift from my wife. New
Tremendous.
elf, brown. And I got the
You're
brown
matching.
and the hat with the
Yep.
same logo. It's tremendous. You got that nice hat on too?
We're almost twins today, Joel.
Oh, that's actually scary.
Right?
You got the gray beards going and two old guys talking Cleveland Browns football. So hey, I want to start off the show here. Talking about Myles Garrett. Like, did you see that insanity on Sunday?
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, and then you see these people that are trying to like downplay it or say no, or obviously Aaron Rodgers isn't going to admit to it, but that was so obvious, right, Joel? So obvious.
I mean, I was texting, Mike, who's been on the show 2-3 times at halftime. I'm like, you guys are going to have to get out of your anti-Myles Garrett offense if you want to win this game. And he's like, I'm very frustrated. We just need to run our offense. And now that's coming from a Steelers fan mid-game. And, he knows what they were doing. They know what they were doing. I mean, I've been talking on this podcast for the last 3 or 4 weeks. Like, offenses are changing their game plan to deal with Myles Garrett, right?
Yes.
They takes away half the field just by lining up. And it's like Pittsburgh just said, hey, hold my beer. We're going to let you take away our entire offense just for being on the field. And literally, we're not running this offense that's like, let's not let Myles Garrett do anything to us. It was insane. And they were happy to lose the game doing it. I've never seen anything that insane in my life.
Are these games fixed, Joel?
Well, I don't think they're fixed. I think somewhere along the way, the Pittsburgh Steelers decided it was more important to not let Myles Garrett break TJ Watt's sack record or to get Aaron Rodgers posterized than it was to beat the Cleveland Browns and make it to the playoffs. The only assumption I can come into this when this is your game plan is that you assume that the Browns are just going to self-destruct because that's what they've done for a long time. Is self-destruct. So all the Browns had to do was not self-destruct. And then they tried to self-destruct, but all they had to do was not self-destruct and they're winning that game. And it seems like Tomlin said, oh, these are the Browns are the Browns and all that.
He even said that at halftime. Did you hear his comments going into the locker room? He basically said what you just said. Like, these are the Browns, we'll be fine. That's what
I think it's like he just assumed the Browns are just going to fall apart and lose the game. And they will just like win the game with their idiotic strategy. And the Browns, to their credit, didn't fall apart. So they lost.
Carson Schlesinger, my God. Rocky Balboa? I mean, dude, like the guy was like, couldn't even barely walk, and there he is out there. And even Tony Romo at one point says the guy needs to sit down, but he played every down. He is, I mean, I know we're talking about Myles, but Carson Schlesinger has to be the top 5 player on this team in this league. Why he's even an alternative in the Pro Bowl? He's got 150 tackles in the season.
Yeah, so I looked at it stat up, and I don't want to get too far off Myles Garrett because I want to talk about a little bit more about. We get on Carson Schlesinger for a second. Carson Schlesinger would be the leading single-season tackler for over half the teams in the NFL right now.
Wow.
And only because the Browns are on defense so much in the last 20 years, is there a better tackler right now? Now, I think there are some teams' records that are just out of reach for him.
Yeah.
Like 3 tackles next week to get the Browns record is not insane. He could end up being the leading single-season leading tackler for maybe 2/3, maybe even 3 of the NFL teams just from his rookie season alone. That's how just insane. He is everywhere. He's super intelligent. It's like he knows where the ball's going to go, and he ends up there. So, I mean, here's where I'm at with Carson Schlesinger. I want to buy a new Browns jersey because I got this old Joel Bitonio all the way back from like
Yeah.
2010 jersey.
Yes.
Left guard named Joel. I'm repping Joel Bitonio, right?
Absolutely.
I'm going to buy a new Browns jersey, and it is going to be Carson Schlesinger. That is how much I respect this man's game. If Joel Bitonio retires or doesn't play for the Browns next year, my new favorite player will be Carson Schlesinger.
I 100% on board with that. I was gifted not a Schlesinger jersey, but a Shedeur Sanders jersey this year.
Nice.
So
Nice.
So I was very excited to get that at Christmas. Thank you, Santa
You should
Claus.
wear that on the show.
I should. I know. I thought about it. I don't know what I was thinking. I wanted to be your twin today. So I
Yeah, hey, look, if you want to talk some Shedeur, we can do that too.
yes.
I was looking on Twitter, man, on X. I still can't. I mean, I know it's been X for a couple years, but like,
Yes.
let's still call it Twitter.
Yeah.
But I was on the X.
Yep.
People are so divided on Shedeur Sanders. Like, I'm trying to go ahead and say something before I get into my analysis.
I want to just point out like your point, and I'm gonna talk more about this guy on my podcast. But you want to talk about morons out there, and you and I, those of you, thanks for watching the Fanatical Elves Network and all of our shows, and Joel's show here, What the Elf, awesome show. Joel and I have both, and Joel's written for several different periodicals over the years. I have too, like Dog Pound Daily and some other places. And these other writers that we see out there in La La Land, like on the national site. There's a guy by the name of Charles McDonald. If you want to waste your time, he writes for Yahoo right now, and he's quite a Yahoo. He played at Gettysburg College, Division III back in the day. This idiot is out here this week. I don't know if you saw all these quotes by him. He's been on other podcasts and writing, and he is over Shedeur. He says that Shedeur is no more than a bench player, and that he's a 5th round draft pick, and he looks like it. And the Browns fans are all being taken again. And I'm like, just shut up. I'm sorry. I can't appreciate people that are nitpicking, and he just beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. The kid is I mean, I know there have been other quarterbacks like Dorian Thompson-Robinson who also beat the Steelers, but give the kid some credit and stop putting him in these. I just pissed off about that.
Well, I'm going to agree with you. Okay, Pittsburgh is not an easy team to beat because they are a complex defense. The normal thing you would do is, okay, here's a blitz. I'm going to throw the ball into the blitz.
Mm-hmm.
What Pittsburgh does is they blitz from one side, rotate a safety or a corner over to put an extra man over there to bait the quarterback into throwing that ball. They do a lot of zone blitz stuff that's very counterintuitive to what you teach quarterbacks to do. Like their defense is designed to defeat the good quarterback who knows what to do with the football, so it gets in their head. And if you only see them once a year, it really messes with you, which is why the Steelers are always able to go like 9-8 every year, right? I digress on that point. Here's my point on Shedeur Sanders. People, for some reason, and I understand it's the media, we want to get it clicks, blah, 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 are starting with, this is what the perfect quarterback looks like, right?
Mm-hmm. I heard you say this before, yeah.
And it's almost like this superhuman standard of what a quarterback is, right? And this standard is something that nobody can, like Tom Brady's not living up to that, Peyton Manning's not living up to that, nobody's living up to this standard. And then every time Shedeur Sanders deviates from that standard, you get a tweet. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at that. It's like it's like the Johnny Manziel mania stupidity that went on for a long time. As long as I can throw the name Shedeur Sanders out there, I can get clicks. That's what it is. It's insanity, and the analysis is insanity, right? I mean, he's inconsistent, but if you watch the first half of that Pittsburgh game, right, he's stepping on time. His drops look consistent. He threw on the third step. He had his timing down right. Now, something happened and that kind of got off his rhythm.
Well, they didn't have the ball a lot either in that second half. Pittsburgh really controlled. I mean, they had the ball a ton in that second half. I don't think the Browns had a lot of opportunities if you really go back and look at it. I mean, they did, but it wasn't like they had every opportunity like they did in the first half. I mean, the Browns took advantage of what they could in that first half and got that good lead.
Right, right, right. And I think the old adage plays true with Shador here. If you can do it once, you can do it again. Right?
Mhm.
He came out that whole first half was on time because he's always been a beat off. Like for whatever reason, he's always been half a second off the
Mhm.
entire season. That first half, he was on time, making good throws, making
Mhm.
sharp throws and accurate throws. He's shown he can do it, right? It's not like he hasn't shown he can do it, and you're like, can he do it? No, he came out in the first half of that game and said,
Mhm.
I'm on time, I'm in rhythm, I'm hitting the tight window throws, I'm throwing in good accuracy, and we're moving the football. He has shown, at least for one half,
Mhm.
that he can play that style of football. And if
Quarterback
you,
Chase Daniels, former, he has a good podcast. I watch his stuff. He's always analyzing this, and he breaks down Shador's. And he talked specifically about, you mentioned earlier about Pittsburgh's unique defense and how the play that he hit Harold Fannin on, and the other pass I think that he hit Tillman on. I mean, very very good. Just him recognizing some of those things.
right,
So.
so he can do it, right? But maybe he doesn't do it to the perfect level of the ideal quarterback right now.
Mhm.
That doesn't mean he's a bad quarterback. It means he's a rookie quarterback making his fifth start. And you at least have to have 6, 7, 8 starts for a rookie quarterback
Mhm.
before they really start to get comfortable with the speed, the rhythm, what defenses are starting to do to
Mhm.
them. And that's when you start to see who they really are, is after 6, 7, 8 games.
Mhm.
So I think some of this is really, really unfair on Shador Sanders. Just people are just trying to clickbait to get clicks, man. They're trying to get paid. I mean, I understand. John, let's take our
Yeah.
break. Let's
Mhm.
take our break, and we'll come back and either go to one or two ways, and I'll let you choose. All right.
Okay.
All right. Hang on 5, 10 seconds here, and we're gonna get our station break in. All right, we're back. And if you're listening to this on a recording and they got all the advertisements in there, go do our
By the way, the
advertisement.
advertisements, we're going to try to add a few more of those, Joel. So I know you guys love those advertisements, but if you listen to those advertisements, you're helping the Fanatical L's network out moving forward in this new year of 2026. So tune
Nice.
into the Fanatical L's shows, everything from Joel's show to my show to the Browns Blitz, the Dog Pound Daily, not Dog Pound Daily, Dog Pound South podcast with Steve Gill, Browns Blitz with Rod. There's a Gleam. He's usually on Wednesday afternoons with Steve Hemrich. So, yep.
Nice. Nice. All right. So, hey, I want to keep talking Browns football here. We can go one of two directions. We can go the direction of Myles Garrett versus Cincinnati, or we can end with that. Or we can talk about the topic I think everybody wants to talk about, which is Kevin Stefanski. And what
Amen.
the heck is going on with this dude?
What do you
So,
think?
I think Monday is going to be Black Monday for Kevin Stefanski. I
Okay.
think the writing
Yeah.
is on the wall.
Yeah.
I think the minute you put, it's hard for me to understand how you would take a guy like Shador Sanders and put him on the third field and not help him and not coach him. I can't say that didn't happen, but maybe they were
Sure.
coaching him on the third field. I don't understand. But when you, if anything of what we heard is going on with Shador Sanders is true, and
Mhm.
his guy was Dylan Gabriel, at that point,
Mhm.
we're not on the same page because somebody
Mhm.
thought Shadors were drafting.
Mhm.
And if he didn't think so, and he kind of quasi blackballed him,
Mhm.
then two people, Andrew Barry and Kevin Stefanski, are not on the same page at that point,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? And
Mhm.
if Stefanski says I'm going to throw down with Dylan Gabriel, and it
Mhm.
blew up in his face,
Mhm.
then I don't see how you stay with him. You got to
I
get
I
somebody
agree.
on the same page with you.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you, and based on just listening to listening to his latest. I know a lot of people have been talking about his latest press conference. Tony Grossi, the beat writer for the Browns, long time. He's already been speculating for 2 days that he's done based on his observations. And these guys are around. I mean, Tony Grossi, Mary Kay, they're around these people. Now, there's other people that have said they've been in the building and there's no sort of sense that doom and gloom is going to happen Monday. And I know the players have come out, like Joel Batonio. I know Steve Gill is a real proponent of our colleague about that it's going to be still status. They're going to go in with Kevin, unless something horrible would happen, but unexpected. I agree though with you. I think the way that his tone, Stefanski's tone in that press conference, and even the press conference the week before, he said something, and it was almost like or a discussion in the past. He talked about his players in a weird way for a split second, and I don't know. I think the idea that he's done too. I mean, he's been in this league for a long time. He was a lifetime backup, I mean, or a coordinator in Minnesota. He's had this gig for 6 years. There's a lot of other jobs that are available, right?
Mhm.
And so the idea of him pushing into somewhere else would seem reasonable, right, Joel? I mean, he could, if he gets fired here,
So
he'll get.
here's
What do you think
I
on that end?
I've had some thoughts on this situation. All you hear is, "Oh my God, they're you fire Kevin Stefanski, he's going to have a job tomorrow." Well, my thing is, remember we
Yeah.
let Kyle Shanahan walk out?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, why didn't we just like, hey, if this guy is in this much of a demand, why don't we just trade him to some team? I mean, head coaches have been traded. John
Yeah.
Gruden got traded to the Buccaneers. Like,
Oh, that's right.
coaches have been traded.
Yeah.
So we can get maybe a first round pick for some team that's just like, we're all in on Kevin Stefanski.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Better
Mm-hmm.
hire an offensive coordinator and let him call the plays.
What about the idea about Stefanski if he leaves? And I know, again, some of our colleagues and other people around La La Land are talking about if Stefanski leaves and you're ruining Shador Sanders because we got to give Stefanski credit, and that's a really, because this is where it really the divide is, I think, with amongst fans, because of what you just said. I mean, if Shador was on the third field, I mean, really, how much time was he spending with Stefanski? And there's all these people now who are coming to Stefanski's defense saying, well, Stefanski's working with him. He's sitting with him every day. Joel Plutonio is telling us that, or other players are saying that they see them working together. Well, that's great. That should be what should be happening at this level. If your coach and your quarterback, your rookie quarterback, are working together now, it's just that it's happened with 5 or 6 weeks to go in the season. So I don't like the fact. I mean, if I'm the owner, I'm the Haslams. I've said this for a few weeks. I mean, I'm firing them. You won. You beat Pittsburgh. That's great. You have a 12-6 record or 13-6 record now against the AFC North at in home games, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, you've got 2 back-to-back horrible seasons, and people are. I mean, the fan base is fed up. And I know some people don't care about that, or people say, well, the organization doesn't care. They should care because they got to fill that stadium, and the stadium, you can get seats for $5 in the upper deck right these days. And the Buffalo Bills filled the fan base came from Buffalo, and it was embarrassing 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I don't see how an organization that's preached alignment, this Shador thing has exposed whatever faults are in those alignments, whatever cracks in the alignment. This is it right here. And people have taken sides. I think it's hard to say that people have not taken sides. People have taken sides.
Yeah.
I mean, Deion Sanders has come out and said, hey, the only reason we were okay with Shador being drafted was Andrew Berry. And I took that as posturing that he wants in on the head coach situation. But it also points out that's just some people close to that organization that there is a disagreement over quarterback, particularly between Shador and Dylan Gabriel. And, Kevin Stefanski made his choice, and he's got to live with that now.
Yeah. No, and you're seeing, all of that kind of come to the heights of everything now, because you've got Deion, who's been in the building now at home games for the last three games in a row. And at the early stage of the season, if you recall, there were press conferences when he was out in Colorado saying he could care less about the Browns.
Right.
He didn't really want it. So it's very intriguing to me, the flip of the script. And obviously there's, I'm sure, had many conversations between him and the Haslams behind closed doors that we have no knowledge of, but can only speculate. It's
right. You don't have prime time in your building without having him in the owner's box.
Oh, hell no.
At some point.
Yeah. And you got to know. And look, I've said this 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago when we were talking about, or with Mike, when we were, let prime time be the coach. I'm fine with it. What do you have to lose? People are like, oh, that would be crazy. People that are really, no, it's not. They've had success, and if they don't, so be it. You're not killing anything here. What do you think the goal of the organization right now, that like the short-term 5-year goal, is to have a winning product when they get to that new stadium, correct?
I think so, but I also think they want a marketable product. And I mean, this is where I think the NFL and the NFE are the same thing, right?
Mhm.
National Football League and National Football Entertainment. You want to put out an entertaining team, right? Which means an entertaining team is the team that's in most of its games, which the Browns are not.
Mhm.
So that's part of the problem. And you
Mm.
have to understand the entertainment side of the business as well. Which is why I think, again, prime time. We're in a whole nother discussion now.
Yeah.
Why I think Dion would be a great fit, simply because the media like the Browns are the joke of the media. That ends the minute Deion Sanders becomes the head coach. One,
Mhm.
because he was in the media. Two, because he knows personally half the media.
Mhm.
So that stuff is going to end because
That's interesting
somebody's
because
going to come back and defend the
well, you
Browns.
get
Simple
this
as
guy
that.
here. Yeah, this guy that I'm wrote this terrible article about Shador saying, well, of course, it's only because of his famous dad that he was, um, that he's the only fifth round draft pick that's starting. Like he's a terrible quarterback, and it's only because of his dad that
That's
he's getting these
garbage.
starts. And that's bull crap. Like that is
That
that and writing that crap and making it public and publishing it out on a popularity, Yahoo, which a lot of people read. That just makes things 10 times worse. So
That's probably how I got on Yahoo. Is like, let's think of some ridiculous claim and
ugh,
go out there and put it out there so people will look at it.
click. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean
And he
that's.
went to Gettysburg College. Way to go, buddy. You played
I
offensive
mean,
line or defensive lineman. Good for you. You look like
well,
you're 12 when I looked at I found his roster page from 2012. Good
I
job.
thought I thought Tony Romo made an interesting. Now we're just on straight Shador here. I thought Tony Romo made an interesting comment about Shador's because I was thinking it when he said it,
What did
and
he say?
he said
I thought he said some good things, but
the
I
one thing
recall.
I
Yeah.
I remember him saying was Shador went out and made a run, and he said, coming into the draft, we were all told that he is not an athletic quarterback,
Mm.
but we always see him making athletic runs, which is I have noticed since he started. Right, whenever he takes off, right,
Yeah.
he's not like he's burning it up. He's not Deion Sanders, right? He's not the icon of athleticism, but he's athletic enough.
Yeah.
It's not like he's Joe Flacco back there or Dylan Gabriel back there just standing there getting us sacked. He can
He's
avoid a
slick.
sack.
He's his footwork. Even Tony Romo just talked about that a few different occasions and really said some positive things of just how he's manipulating in that pocket and his footwork. And yes, there are multiple mistakes at other times, but he has all of it. We talk about him having it. He has it, like you mentioned earlier. He has it. It's just being consistent.
Right, at least enough to be escapable, right? He's not just a statue sitting there. He's escapable. So he has enough athleticism to be an NFL quarterback. It's not like he can't be athletic. It's
Right.
not. I guess to say this, it's not like his entire game is built on I'm going to stand there, read a defense, and throw the football. He has an element of his game that allows him to scramble and run and extend plays, and that's an important piece of being a quarterback. So just say that he's like out there because of his name is just clickbait.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's
Way to go,
beyond dumb.
Gettysburg writer.
It's
Gettysburg
beyond
College.
dumb. So let's just for fun and
Just
giggles.
Jeffrey. I know Jeffrey's he's a stout. He watches your show every week. Thank you, Jeffrey. Many of our shows, so thank you. He wants to bring in like a veteran.
I mean, you're going to have Deshaun Watson. They're paying him regardless, and if Shador likes him, that's who's going to be there. That's what's going
Reminds
to
him of
happen.
Jameis Winston. Okay. Yep.
Well enough, right?
Yeah.
Let's play the little game for a second. Let's say for some reason we can't get Deion Sanders, which would be my first choice to be the head coach if Stefanski is fired.
Yeah.
Right. Let's put the if out there. And for anybody who would be concerned about Deion Sanders, I'll just say this. Head coaches don't coach players. They coach coaches. So if you want a good offense, you need a good offensive coordinator. You want a good defense, you need a good defensive coordinator. Period. You just need a head coach to come in and set the tone, set the culture, get the players playing, and establish who we are as an identity. And Deion Sanders can do that. So in my opinion, it's a no-brainer. But let's say the Browns decide not to do the no-brainer thing. Let's go over some people, and you tell me what you think about these people as head coaches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over a couple of people I have in mind that I think would make good head coaches. And then I've got a list on the other screen here of ESPN's top, we'll just do 5 people that they think are good coaching candidates for next year.
Okay.
Number one, Tommy Rees. What would you think of Tommy Rees as a head coach?
He knows the system. He's been working with Shador this past year, so I wouldn't be like totally against that. But it would be another young guy, but he'd have the potential. I think the players would respect him based on what I see. So I wouldn't be totally against something like that. What about you?
I mean, I'm okay with it. I just wonder if he needs
More
more
time.
time. I mean,
Mhm.
Stefanski was a 1 year offensive coordinator before he took over, and he clearly needed some time. And it was like he was learning how to be an offensive coordinator at the same time he was being a head coach. And I used to sit on these podcasts and just complain. He needs an offensive coordinator who's a real offensive coordinator
Yeah.
who can just be a head coach.
Yeah.
I want a head coach. I don't want another person who wants to be an offensive coordinator and a head coach.
Mm-hmm.
I'm against that. I'm also
Okay.
against the person who wants to be a head coach and a defensive coordinator. I want someone who says my job is to be a head coach. I'm not sure Tommy Rees is there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe not. I don't know. All right. So name number 2, Jim Schwartz. What do you think of Jim Schwartz?
Again, he's been a coach. He had a horrible season one year, several years ago, right? They didn't win a game, right? When he was the coach of the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
But he's done a lot of good things with his defense. I thought it was interesting that I saw something on La La Land that his wife comes to all the games and she sits in the stands with
Really?
the fans. Yeah, there was somebody posted that yesterday and had a picture of her, and he said that she's out there every game and she's a hardcore cheer, and so yeah, I would be fine with it myself again because I think he's a good coach, and despite his past with some of the teams that he had in Detroit, I think he's would be good. He's had a lot of success with this defense. I don't know though if because he's been here so long and with the ups and downs of the team over the last several seasons, I don't know if that would be because he's more of a veteran, been around the block a few times. So I'm not sure how that would sit with the fans necessarily. It wouldn't shock
Wow.
me if that was the decision, but I'd be surprised.
I would be all in on Jim Schwartz.
Okay.
I would love that. I mean, not as much as I would like the Deion Sanders situation, but I'd be good with Jim Schwartz.
Okay.
Yeah, and Jeffrey makes the point. You have to have a good offensive coordinator. So if you could keep Tommy Rees, put Jim Schwartz as the head coach, let Jim Schwartz pick his own guy.
Yeah.
To run his system, like promote somebody, keep a heavy hand on that. But you have to have an OC that is, that can run the offense themselves. And I think Tommy
Rees could do that.
Right? He can show up and be like, this is my offense. I don't need Jim Schwartz in it. I can just run my offense and go from there. So
this came out. That came out earlier today.
That the Dolphins want to bring in Tommy Rees as their offensive coordinator. That would be a lateral move.
No, what about the Dolphins head coach? Bring him. They were talking about bringing in what's his face, who used to be with the Browns back in the
IT
day.
guy.
Yeah, McDonald, or yeah.
No. The head coach.
Josh McDaniels. Bring him in. No, not Josh McDaniels. Who's the whatever his name is?
I know who you're talking about. He looks like he works for IT.
Yes.
He wears like the capri pants and crap.
Yes.
I mean, look, if he just wants to run offense, that's fine. The Dolphins run the football a lot. If you give him a good quarterback, I'm not sure Tua Tagovailoa is a good quarterback. The Dolphins need a quarterback. I mean, if he can motivate his players to play, I'm okay with it. I just think for me, I want a head coach, not an aspiring coordinator. But from there, let's talk about number 1 on ESPN's list, right?
What is it? Or who is it?
Vance Joseph, defensive coordinator of the Denver Broncos.
Okay.
Which I think would be interesting because he has been a head coach, so he understands what that is. His defenses play well. I think it would kind of wreak havoc if anybody wants to keep Jim Schwartz. You're not doing that. That's out of the concept. And I don't know what he wants to do on offense. If Tommy Rees fits what he does, I don't know.
Okay.
Do you have any thoughts on Vance Joseph?
I don't know much about him. I'm trying to go back and look at him right now. It's Joseph is his last name?
Vance Joseph.
Where was he head coach?
I can't remember. I want to say it was in Denver, but I can't remember exactly where it
So he
was.
was the head coach there prior. Now he's the. Oh, I
I
see
don't
who he.
I don't know where exactly he was the head coach,
I
but
got you.
he didn't do real well. But I think he's one of those guys that got the
Oh
shaft.
yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
All right, so
he's. Yeah, I like the guy. He was. He played for the Jets, the Colts. Played for the Broncos. He was the. He was the head coach. You're right, for a year. Interesting for the Broncos in
mhm.
2017 season, and
Yeah,
now he went back to the defensive coordinator. He had gone through. He went over to Arizona for a while. Oh, that's an interesting. Yeah. Okay.
okay, so I'm going to skip down for a couple plays here because I'm not interested in Chris Shula of the Rams. I'm not interested in Jeff Halfley, the Green Bay. I'm not interested in. I don't know. I'm just interested in who can coach football. But let's go to Joe Brady, offensive coordinator of Buffalo Bills.
Joe
I'm gonna let,
Brady.
I'm gonna
Oh
let you
yeah.
start with this
Joe
before I give
Brady.
my very spirited take on this.
Okay, you go. Well, let me look here. Hold on. You.
So Joe Brady was the OC in LSU when
I'm
uh,
looking up. Oh, I see
Burrow,
him. Yeah, I
Burrow,
got you.
and
Yeah. Okay, so he's
Jamar
the.
Chase were there.
He's 36 years old. He's the offensive coordinator now. Okay. That I
Joe
don't know about that because
Joe
the
Brady was the OC at
yeah, and now I don't
Carolina.
know. Buffalo's not doing so good with their offense this year. They've been kind of, I mean they're good. They have obviously Josh Allen, James Cook, all that, but um,
So
so
anyway, here's my take on Joe
yeah,
Brady.
yeah, yeah,
My take on Joe Brady is, oh hell no,
yeah.
keep this guy away from Cleveland. I,
Why?
I, I think he's just been a product of having good quarterbacks and good receivers, and then he runs a minimal offense that he's been smart enough
Okay.
to exploit with Burrow and Chase and LSU, which got him a job in Carolina, which was a complete flop. And
Yeah, it was just
then he went to
that's okay.
Buffalo, and I don't even know why Buffalo hired him because I don't even get it. He must have been on his reputation from LSU, and I'm not sure Buffalo's doing much better this year than they did last year with their offense.
No,
And I don't think either. I'm just this guy is hyped, right? I think he's hyped because of Burrow
Joe.
and Chase in LSU.
Yeah, and Josh Allen has had a good time when he's been with Buffalo now since 22. So probably that
I'm
a
not a
little bit.
fan. Not
Yeah.
a fan. I mean, when you walk into Josh Allen and that offense, I'm just not a fan.
Did
But
he win a national championship? Was
I
he?
don't know.
Yeah, he was with that 2019 national championship team, like you mentioned. With
Yeah,
okay,
Burrow and Chase and that group down there at
he
LSU.
started out as a linebackers coach at William and
I
Mary.
mean, when I'll be honest with you, like coaching, like coaches will tell you, like my success depends on the people on the field, which is why college football is all about recruiting.
Yeah.
That's how you win in college football is recruiting. If my players are better than your players, we're going to win the game, even if the coach is a moron, because the players can go out there and do it, right? So as long as I just don't screw up as a coach, I'm going to let my players go out there and win the game. Now the NFL is a whole different ball game than that, right? The NFL, it's like everyone is pretty much on the same level, unless you're Myles Garrett and you like beat teams by going on the field, right? Other than that, the NFL is pretty much a pretty even keel thing. So that's why the NFL is a coaches league. It's about the coaches putting players in positions and how well the coaches can outsmart
Yeah.
the other coaches. That's the difference between two. College football, it's about the players. The NFL, it's about the coaches, right? So that's the difference in the game and how you should even watch the game. But
Mhm.
I'm not sure Joe Brady has done a successful job of stop being a college football coach where if you have the talent, you can succeed. But if you don't have
Mhm.
the talent, you can't succeed. You know, the trick of the NFL coach is to take all these people all on the same level and elevate them as
Mhm.
players. And I don't
Sure.
think he does that. I really don't
Mhm.
think he does that. Now, I think Jim Schwartz has with a lot of defensive linemen
Sure.
and what he's done with like Mason Graham this year, how he started to kind of slowly
Yes.
picked up. I mean, Carson Schlesinger is one of those guys you just put him in there and let him just do his thing. Like that's what I'm talking about. You get somebody like that,
Yeah.
coaching's easy.
Right.
And if you walk into Josh Allen or you walk into Joe Burrow, coaching's easy.
Mhm. What about this Josh McCown idea that Jeffrey throws out here? he's been a longtime assistant and doing some things. It seems. I mean,
Has he been an OC?
no, right?
See, the
Not
thing
yet.
about being an OC is that at least you get the idea that you're in charge of the entire offense, right? Or the
Right.
entire defense. And so you are basically like the vice president in charge of offensive operations, and you run that whole wing.
Right.
So you got to have some, or special teams the same way, right? So you got to have some kind of like OC experience. I don't know if he's been an OC, and I wouldn't want to
No, he's the
have
quarterback.
him.
Minnesota. He's the quarterback coach currently with Minnesota. So
You know,
that.
I don't agree with this idea that we're going to hire quarterback coaches either. Like, don't hire me a quarterback coach. I don't want
Right.
one. I want someone who's an administrator. Like, this
Yeah.
literally is an administrative position. You're not really
And that's where you come back to Schwartz because
right.
he's
You're
done it all, seen it all. He would be a good.
I think he's run that defense to where that defense, when they don't quit on people, where that defense is sharp all the way around, and that's the sign of the OC saying to the coaches,
Yeah.
you're going to like coach those DBs, you're
Yeah.
going to coach those linebackers, you're going to coach
Yeah.
those defensive linemen, right? That's the administrative piece that a head coach comes back and says, you as the OC need to do something about this, or you as the OC need to do something about that.
Yeah.
When you're trying to be the OC and the head coach at the same time, you're pulling more weight than you should be.
Yep.
Somebody needs to be back there telling the coaches.
Well, isn't that what
like
it. When we're talking about going back to talk about Stefanski? You know, he was this lifelong 13 years with the Minnesota Vikings as an assistant and an offensive coordinator the last year or two.
Yeah, the last year, the 1 year he was an offensive coordinator. And
right.
I went back and watched those games, and every halftime, Mike Zimmer is throwing a fit that they need to run the football. And if you watch Stefanski, like 45-mile-an-hour winds, we're throwing the ball 50 times. That's literally what we came out and did. I mean,
yeah, no, and that was like, even if you want to come back to current times, that first game against the Squealers in Pittsburgh, he had his boy Dylan Gabriel throw the ball 52 times. Yesterday or last week on Sunday, he had Shador throw it 21 or 22 times. So I made a talk. We talked about
Tommy
that.
Reese. That's Tommy Reese.
Right.
Tommy Reese does a better job of understanding.
Yes. How many times have we complained about Stefanski over the years? Not just this year. The number of times where he's had these backups, the bench quarterbacks throwing the ball 40 or 50 times when they shouldn't be. Because that's the other part of this conversation that drives me nuts, is that people who really love Stefanski and are always supporting him want to come back, and people like Mary Kay keep trying to fuel the fire here by saying, well, he's not had his quarterback yet. Bull crap. How unrealistic is that? Like, I don't want to hear that one more time, that Stefanski hasn't had his quarterback. I don't care. He's been here 6 years. He's got the quarterbacks in front of him. Stop using that as an excuse. Like, well, he hasn't had the right guy yet to really work with. That is so bogus. It drives me nuts.
It's like a coach blaming the players and then telling the reporter to go out there and say it's the players' fault. I mean,
yeah, right.
To me, that's even more of a reason to not have Stefanski around next year. Like, just you coach him. You coach who you have. I mean, I understand you coach who you have, but if you can't make the players you have good, think of it this way. Do you want to drive a Lamborghini, right? Everyone wants to drive a Lamborghini, right?
Sure.
But if you can't drive a stick, how are you going to drive a Lamborghini? And you're not going to learn to drive a stick on a Lamborghini. You're going to learn to drive a stick on like a Honda Civic.
Right.
So unless you've learned to drive a stick on a Honda Civic and you've learned to drive that Honda Civic, you have no business getting in the Lamborghini. And I haven't seen Kevin Stefanski drive a Honda Civic with a stick yet. So what makes you think he's going to be able to drive the Lamborghini?
Right. I mean, yeah, there's just so many things. We
need to get off this topic. Man. We've been on this for a while, but I think Black Monday's coming, and I'm hoping, Tuesday night we're talking about prime time. That's all I want to hear. I want to hear
that would be interesting.
Monday we're done with Stefanski, and Tuesday we've hired Deion Sanders. Like that's what I want to hear.
Yes.
And because all I need Deion Sanders to do is what he does best, which is run his damn mouth. That's all he has to do. Just get in there and run your mouth.
Yeah.
Right? Run your mouth in the locker room, run your mouth in meetings, run your mouth here, run your mouth there. and I would love to see him keep Jim Schwartz, and I'd love to see him keep Tommy Reese. I'd love to keep both of those two in the building. Just tell Tommy Reese whatever run whatever.
And the
offense,
quarterback coach
I don't
currently
care.
is friends with Dion.
Yeah, we're
Correct. They
keeping him.
played ball together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
That was all the speculation as to why we were going to draft Shedeur Sanders. That we hired the guy that Dion thought was the best person to coach his son to start with. That's when all that pre-draft, like, the Browns are taking Shedeur because of that.
Yep.
You know, I just honestly, I think we just hire Prime, keep Schwartz, keep Reese, develop Shedeur, and use these draft picks, which is why I was kind of frustrated. I want to get into this draft thing for a second.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the draft.
Yes.
I'm not frustrated that the Browns won and moved down from 3 to 6. That doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
You play to win the game, right? You play to win
the game. Yep.
So I am not happy that I'm going to say I am happy we won the game.
Yes.
Okay. I don't care about draft position except to say the 3rd overall pick will net you more other draft picks than the 6th overall pick will. I mean, I literally got onto mock drafts, right? So you know mock drafts, right? The Browns are taking this left tackle at 3, left tackle at 3, left tackle at 3.
Right.
So then they go down to 6, right?
Yeah.
And then you start looking at the mock drafts. They're taking the exact same guy at 6 in these mock drafts that they're taking at 3. So what's the point of caring whether 3 or 6 is your pick?
Yeah.
If you accept the reality, and we should do a whole show on draft picks at some point.
We should.
Just on like the mechanics of drafting. But if you believe the fact that like picks have intrinsic value, which would be dumb, but most people do, like picks have intrinsic value. Like, what if picking the same guy at 3 and 6 doesn't convince you that picks have no value in and of themselves, but picks have picks and relative to what the team assigns value to them?
Yes.
The 3rd pick means more than what the 6th pick does. So you can sit back and say, we got the 3rd pick, but honestly, we can get the same guy at 6. So what's the point? We'll trade you 3. You give us 6, or we'll trade you 3. You give us 5. You give us next year. We'll get the same guy we wanted to start with. So my thing is just the only thing the Browns did to shoot themselves in the foot when they did this is not that they lost their quarterback or they lost some great thing, is that the value they could have traded their pick off for has diminished. Now at 6, you got to ask yourself, am I getting back to 6 what I really want? Like if I want 1 of 4 players, and am I going to go back too far with 6 as opposed to 3? So it's really a matter of it'll be harder to sell off 6 and get what you want than it will to sell off 3 and get what you want. No, I know I'm controversial and I know I'm insane, but like I am not one of these people that sits there and says you're going to get a better player at 3 than you're going to get at 6. I think that's a myth. You're going to get a player that fits your system at 6, just like you're going to get a player that fits your system at 3. The value of these players are not intrinsic. Their values are relative to the teams that draft them.
Yes.
The picks are not intrinsic with value. The picks are relative to the teams that want the players who are on the board at the time that you trade the pick.
Yeah.
That's what the value is. So anyway, there's my rant on the draft. I don't think the Browns did anything dumb by winning a football game.
No, I agree 100%. And I'm all on board. I mean, that wherever the Browns fall in the draft, it is what it is. I think the thing with the Browns in the drafts, it's like we talk about this. It is our Super Bowl every year. It seems like over the last several decades, like the draft means more to teams like us, like the Browns, because we suck many years. So,
and we believe for whatever reason we're going to get some player of intrinsic value that's going to change our entire franchise.
Yes,
we're not. Yes, we're going to get a player that's going to fit our system and it's going to help with the overall contribution of the offense. So once you get rid of this myth that we're going to find this team-changing player, then all of a sudden picks don't mean as much,
right?
But you've taken the Super Bowl element away, and so it's not as fun for fans. And part of this is entertainment. All right, one last topic before we wrap up. We've been going on for a while. I want to get back on Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett going into Cincinnati. Okay. And I think this is interesting because I've been saying Myles Garrett steps on the field and he takes away half the field. Well, Pittsburgh said, we are not giving up a sack. Therefore, we're going to let you take away the entire offense. Pointless. So now that's out there, right? So give credit to the Steelers. It's out there. If you don't want Joe Burrow posterized, you just like run the football, don't throw any passes,
Yeah.
or have a dump off somewhere.
Yeah.
So the Bengals right now literally are thinking, okay, do we want to win the game, or are we more worried about Myles Garrett potentially posterizing Joe Burrow?
Joe Burrow.
Right. So here's my thought on posterizing. I got 2 points on this. One, posterizing. Who cares if your quarterback gets posterized? Because all advertisement is good advertisement. How many times have we watched Michael Strahan sack Brett Favre, and that turns into a discussion of Brett Favre and the Packers and their dominance in that era? So what does it matter if this person gets sacked and is on the reel, right?
Yeah.
So let's say Myles Garrett goes in and sacks Joe Burrow, and all these Bengals fans are like, "No, I don't want to see that 100 times." But every time it comes up, Joe Burrow is going to get talked about.
Yep.
Jamar Chase is going to get talked about. The Bengals going to the Super Bowl is going to get talked about, and probably even Mike Brown and his cheap ass way of running the football team is going to get talked about.
Yeah.
So that's free advertisement from now until the end of time.
Yeah.
That Myles Garrett has given you.
Well, if the NFL is rigged and scripted, like some of us suspect sometimes, I think it's going to happen. And Myles has a plethora of sacks against. I think he has the most sacks against any other quarterback. It's Joe Burrow. I don't know the number, but I think it's significantly higher than.
They're giving up 2 a game, and that offensive line is trash. Their owner doesn't care. As long as Joe Burrow's on the field, people are going to be there.
They're not going to change their ways. They're going to try to throw the ball for 500 yards, right?
That's the question. Like, are they going to say we don't want posterized by Myles Garrett and are therefore going to do the Pittsburgh Steelers thing and win?
I don't think they are.
And the other side of this, the Browns now have to say, this is on tape. Are we willing as a defense to line up in man press, cover 1 man press every single play to force Joe Burrow to hold the ball 3 seconds? Because that time you're taking away all the hot routes, right?
Yeah.
Taking away all the short routes to force Joe Burrow to hold the ball 3 seconds so Myles Garrett can get a sack. Are you willing to let Jamar Chase beat Tyson Campbell on the outside, 30 yards down the field and give up a touchdown or a long pass just so that Myles Garrett can have the opportunity to get a sack?
Yeah.
And if I'm the Browns, I'm asking myself, what do I have to play for? If I'm the Bengals, I'm asking myself, what do I have to play for? Right?
Sure.
We can literally watch a game where the Bengals are doing to the Browns what Pittsburgh did to the Cleveland.
Yeah.
And you can literally watch a game where Cleveland's saying, we're running man press all game. We're going to let you score 50 touchdowns on us as long as it takes you 3 seconds to throw the ball, because at some point Myles Garrett is going to get that sack.
Yeah.
That could be the game we watch.
Yeah.
I would find it, as someone who is a connoisseur of football strategy, I would think this would just be like the greatest thing ever to watch.
Yes.
People making these decisions and playing these crazy defenses to like affect one outcome, one individual outcome. Right? It's like the scholasticism of the NFL. It's like, we're going to argue this minute detail to like into the earth. Like, it's brilliant.
Well, the other part of the Myles I find interesting, some people are trying to put an asterisk now because he didn't do it in 15 or 16 games. Yet he did it in so many hundreds fewer
How many
pass
teams?
attempts. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the Michael Strahan sack for a second. What happened on that Michael Strahan sack?
I can't.
Brett Favre took the ball, rolled out toward Michael Strahan, and got sacked. There is no team on this NFL in 2025
that would do that.
2026 that will purposely roll their quarterback toward Myles Garrett.
Sure.
At all. Period. As they play. Right.
Yeah.
So you're talking about different NFL eras. People are doing different things. And this is my entire point about Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett has so gotten into the heads of offensive coordinators and coaches.
Yes.
That they changed their entire way of playing offense because he's on the field. Nobody has done that for Michael Strahan. Nobody has done that for TJ Watt. Nobody has done that for anybody. Not Reggie White. Not Bruce Smith. Nobody you can tell me that a team has said, we will forego an entire half of the field to stay away.
Yeah, you're right.
No team in the history of the NFL has ever said, we're willing to lose this game, possibly lose the division, and possibly lose the playoffs to avoid having Myles Garrett sack our quarterback.
I think too, for Myles Garrett, and let's say he doesn't break the record, I'm sure people will be surprised by that, and maybe Myles will be somewhat disappointed. I think longevity, though, I think that Myles Garrett's finishing his 9th season. I think that he's got his sights set on like Bruce Smith's overall sack record, which is like 190. He's got 120 or whatever right now, and Myles does. So I think those sorts of things mean even more to Myles. So even if he doesn't break it, I don't think he'll be crushed. But I'm more anxious as a fan of his to see if that's what he eventually. I think he'll crush Bruce Smith's record if he can stay healthy.
Mm-hmm. And Myles Garrett typically has not been injury prone except when he came into the league with those high ankle sprains.
And Bruce Smith played for 19 seasons, correct? If I'm right, I went back and I looked.
I think the interesting part of that whole stat is how many pass attempts these people see.
So many fewer. I mean, hundreds.
Cannot get a sack if they're not throwing the ball.
Yeah.
So games as a metric for how many sacks he have is
shouldn't have any. Absolutely ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. That's like the Stone Age of statistics.
Well, then you see Pittsburgh fans who came out this weekend and said, well, Myles doesn't do anything against us. He only had 2 tackles in the first game against us. I'm like, that's so boneheaded. These people are like, these Steeler fans that report that kind of crap. You have no understanding about what we just talked about. Like you're ignoring everything that, that you just suggested.
It takes understanding what Pittsburgh does as an offense before the game starts to realize what had changed.
Mm-hmm.
And if you talk to honest Pittsburgh fans, they'll tell you,
yes,
yeah, we completely changed everything we did just to prevent this. And my question is why?
Yeah.
Let's say he goes in and he sacks Aaron Rodgers, right? Like I said before, every time the clip is played, Aaron Rodgers gets talked about.
Yeah.
And every time the clip is played,
you think that Aaron would like that? He's a popularity. He loves popularity.
Oh no, I'm convinced that Aaron Rodgers, who's definitely a me player.
Yes,
one of the biggest meat players you can
definitely
get.
a narcissist. Yep.
Yeah, he's like, this is not happening, and we will lose the football game for my benefit.
Yeah,
like period.
Oh,
like, I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't hold him up like that and say, if I'm not even going to play if we're going to sit there and like let him sack me. So we're going to have an entire game plan that's revolved around him not sacking me. Did you see that tweet or X post where it was like, PFF had come out and had analyzed his time to throw, that his normal time to throw was like 2.6 seconds.
Uh-huh.
Through the whole game, like at least for the first half of the Browns game, he was throwing in 2.2 or 2.1 seconds.
Wow.
And the lowest in the NFL history for a single recorded game was 2.55.
Wow.
Like, he had by far was breaking the record for the fastest snap to throw count in the history of the NFL by almost a half a second.
Yeah. I mean, even Tony Romo and people commentated on that a few times where you could just see it. I mean, it was just so like obvious. So anyway,
I think people who understand football know that the best player on the field any given week is Myles Garrett, which is why if he's not the MVP of this season, it's just a rigged situation. You might as well call it the most valuable quarterback after that point.
Right.
Because it's not the most valuable player.
Yeah.
Because the most valuable player is the guy who just by stepping on the field makes teams make a decision of whether or not they decide they want to win or lose the game based on what he's doing to them. Like, that's your MVP.
Yeah.
Nobody can reproduce that. Nobody has ever done that, and nobody will probably ever do it again.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
That's Myles Garrett. That's how insane it is. And for the fact that he's a Cleveland Browns, we as Browns fans, although the guy is an idiot,
yes,
he should appreciate what he's doing on the football field. But yes, he is an idiot. All right, John, final parting shot here. We've been going at this almost an hour. So let's see.
Was looking at going down to the game maybe in Cincinnati, but the game prices for tickets are a little bit pricier than I can handle. As a Browns fan, I'm just used to paying $5 to get into the upper deck of the Cleveland Stadium. So I'm still contemplating going down there. And on another side note here, Hoosiers, if you decide to watch it, if you like basketball, Joel, do you like basketball?
I do not. I'm not a basketball guy.
Well, if you're a basketball fan and it is New Year's Eve, if you start the movie, I read this on La La Land. If you start Hoosiers, the movie at Eastern time at 10:07 and 48 seconds, then you will be able to watch Jimmy Chitwood Chitwood hit the game-winning basket in the classic '86 Hoosiers movie that came out with Gene Hackman. So turn on your TV and turn on the streaming of Hoosiers at 10:07 and 48 seconds, and you'll be able to see that right as the ball drops in New York City
This
at
is what
midnight.
New Year's has come to.
Right? Isn't that crazy?
This is what New Year's has come to.
I love La La Land. You can find anything out there.
Hey, get with me later about the Bengals thing. I
Okay.
may or may not be able to go down to the game with you. And if we do, we'll just tell everybody we're going down to the game and come talk.
That's right. All right.
So text me closer to that game.
Okay. I got you.
So, all right, everybody, that is a wrap on our next edition on What the Elf Was That? So thank you for paying attention and hanging out with us.
Thank you for listening to the What the Elf Was That podcast. Please like, subscribe, and tell all your friends to give a listen. You can follow host Joel Cade on Twitter at The Left Guard.